in 4, we talked about using the WBS scheme. We talked about project action plans, and you took 2 project action plans, one for the LAN and one for the tribute dinner. You had already done the work in Excel, so it made it a little simpler, okay? I'm going to give you a project action plan. It'll be in Excel. Your job is to read it, interpret what are level 1s, level 2s, and level 3s. It will also have you add a beginning and an ending milestone, as we've talked about all along. So you're going to have to do some modifications to the spreadsheet before you copy and paste. You'll follow the steps that we have used for both of those. That was Excel the project. It was a step-by-step technique, and you're going to do it. I got the specifications. Specifications give you the date of the start date. It says to add milestones for the beginning and end. Shown only the required columns, as we did. We just hid a lot of the garbage.
Are we going to be allowed to have that?
Nope.
Okay.
You did 2 homeworks. You should know it by now. In fact, the last one was just submitted.
Are there going to be any mistakes on that we're going to have to like recognize?
No. Oh, good question. No. I want you not to do the analytics. Is it right or wrong? Put it in and do it. That's a good point. There's no tricks to this. I want to see that you can take an Excel PAP with conditions and convert it into project. The one thing I don't know, and I won't know till Monday, is we can't all fit in there. If I can't get a hold of 312, and if it has project, I'll probably split it. It has project? Yes. So all I got to do is be a squatter and take over 312. That way you don't have to wait to get access to the project here. You can also go upstairs. I just want to make sure I know I'm scheduled for this class for the final. I got to make sure I'm not stepping on anybody else. Okay? Now, back to the remainder, which is lists and fill in the blanks. You know what I do. We talked a lot about that Gantt chart and the PAP that's associated with it. And we talked about that Gantt chart and what important items I have to be given. Okay? This finishing late, excuse me, it's no better this way. We have done these repetitiously enough. We need the task number, we need the task description, we need the duration, and we need, last one, predecessors. That's what we need to get started. The WBS comes along, but we need first the sequence, the this is the duration right here, the task, and then the predecessors. So 4 items, okay? We talked in this, we did the Gantt chart prior, so we had an edge on all of this, but we went back and we talked about networks. We said there were 2 types of networks, PERT and CPM. We also talked about the critical path method as opposed to the program evaluation review technique, because critical path method, we just do that stick on the wall, sure hope it's good, duration. This one, probabilistic, does the optimistic, realistic, and pessimistic, and we do O plus 4 times R plus P divided by 6. They call it probabilistic because it ends up looking like a distribution chart. It really isn't. It's just a weighted average. Okay? When we go to networks, we know that the critical path is the longest path. We know that the slack for that critical path is all zeros. We know that there is slack on all the other paths. And that's because the longest one determines the critical path. There's got to be slack in all the rest of them. They're less than the critical path. You're going to be able to discuss this. This whole early start, early finish, late start, late finish. I'm going to ask questions about slack. And we know that there is task slack and there is path slack. Okay. You will have to do one of them, given the task, duration, and predecessors. So you'll have to build a network chart, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It has 12 tasks.
Is that going to be part of the Excel portion?
No. No, all manual, okay? And I'll ask for paths, I'll ask for path duration, path slack.
We're gonna have to arrange the boxes on our own.
Yes. And don't try to make it look pretty. Just draw them. Sometimes they'll crisscross, I know that, okay? I just want to see that you can draw it. You can fix it later on to make it look pretty. I do ask for task slack, so you have to be able to do early start, that calculation, that formula. And that was right there. Slack for a task, it says activity, that's a task. LS minus ES, LF minus EF. You did that homework assignment already. Okay. You will be asked, I say neatness counts, that means don't erase and redraw and just put in those lines, okay? I have that on a separate page in landscape mode for you to do that. Chapter 6. We talked about expediting a project. There are two ways. Fast tracking and the critical path method. Two ways, okay? We're not going to talk about number 3. Number 3 is starting early or finish late. And that's not expediting. So these are the two. The statement on fast tracking is real easy. That's a construction technique where you have multiple of the same event being done. I made a reference to an apartment complex. The critical path method we talked briefly about. First of all, it says critical path, which means we're only going to expedite tasks on the critical path. And we do that by doing normal duration, normal costs, crash duration, crash costs, and we get it down into a crash cost per day. We try to pick the lowest one first. If you're going to expedite, do the cheapest one. And that was shown actually as a slope. Crash cost minus normal cost divided by crash time minus normal time. But you're looking at the least expensive activity to crash. I'm going to say not focus. I'm gonna say that's absolute. You only do that on the critical path. You don't waste good money expediting something that doesn't need to be expedited. Only the critical path needs to be expedited. That's it. It's a 2-pager on words. Excuse me, sorry, because we have a network. Got a couple more pages, okay? You'll have the project action plan for doing the network in front of you. You won't need Excel, that's a good question. Nothing done in Excel. We will use Excel when we do the practical performance side. And I give it to you raw in Excel. Any questions? See,
8? Final
8
date.
a.m.
And we're gonna start in this side.
We're gonna start here, and I'm gonna try over the next couple of days to figure out if I can bump into them. I don't think there's a problem.
Which day was it again? Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
We're the first ones on Monday. Half this class is in my second test, half hour after this one. Question? Did I hear it? Oh, he was taking pictures. He didn't want to talk, he just wanted a picture. Got it.